And now we've got today in the West, the Melbourne Footy Club and the West Coast Eagles. I am actually in the West, but I can see on the screen here 4 of the best assembled. Bill Brownless sucking on a Red Bull, so I've obviously been hard out on the piss last night. Welcome to you.
No, that is not right, Jim. I was watching the game and I can't believe we heard a chant go up at the MCG last night. USA, USA.
Yes.
What is going on?
Completely nuts that was. We've got Duck, of course, the superstar. Welcome to you. We've got Damo. We've got BT. And I'll tell you what we've got coming up. We've got Nathan Buckley shortly. What a story he has been this year. We've got Mythbusters, and Brian's got this assembled on the whole team.
For each one, JB. So I'm going to just delve into the personal life of each of you today.
Don't delve too deep.
I've got a Mythbuster on you.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I have.
So a bit of return fire. We've got the news. Al Clarkson is going to join us. The quiz. We've got Tom Mitchell later on. So, she's a very, very nice show. I'll tell you what happens, Damo.
Yep.
When you get over here, but they get good mail in Perth. Yeah. I don't know why it seems to get all the way over to Perth from Melbourne.
I'll tell you why, because you take it over with you.
It's electric mail. So I'm going to run something by you, Bill. I want you to just tell me if this would be true.
Righto, go.
It's my understanding that there was just a little sportsman's gathering in Melbourne, and a diminutive umpire by the name of Ray Chamberlain
Correct so far, Jim.
was meant to be speaking at this function. Now, he got dragged out of the function because he had to come over here to do the game. So he was replaced by our man.
Who?
The Bristle. Oh! Now, this is what I want to...
A late one.
A late one.
Yeah.
So jumping in because Ray couldn't...
Happy to help Ray out.
No, I like that. So, Brian, in he comes Duck, which is absolutely fantastic. So you get a big-time performer able to fill in for Ray, so that's all good.
Yep.
This is the bit that interests me.
Yeah.
The mail that got over to me in Perth was that there was a conversation between Brian, thank you, Brian,
Yes.
and the person running the particular function. And BT at one stage, Duck just elevated his voice and said the following sentence.
What?
Now listen in. I am not accepting Ray Chamberlain money. I want Brian Taylor money.
Yes.
And therefore the function went ahead, but not a lot of money was made. 'Cause most of it went Bristle's way.
What sort of gap are we talking, JB? Is there a big gap?
Well, first things first, JB.
Double what Razor was on and then some more.
First things first, it was another freebie.
Oh,
No.
And I was happy to do it because it's an old stomping ground of mine out there.
Not
Where
exactly.
were you, Brian?
I heard it was
Can you
out
remember?
at Yarrambat, which
No,
is...
don't tell him. He didn't even know.
It's at Yarrambat.
You didn't even know where you were yesterday. And I was sitting with you. You, me and Spud were there. And now, I'll tell you what happened, Jim. The
tell me.
conversation went like this. They said they had bloody Razor. Now they've got BT. That was what he was arguing. And that's why he got the big money. That is true.
third-personed himself.
He did.
And Bill, I heard he was there for all of 48 minutes.
Well, I got there at 1 because I was running a bit late. We had to do our show, Jim.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, you mean you...
That's true.
what did you
Anyway,
do our
right.
show. Yes. So you're running late.
All right, so hang on.
I was running late.
So hang on, just before we get... So part B to this story
here
is,
you go.
if you really
Oh,
want
hello,
me to go
Brian.
with
Come on,
it,
that's Brian.
but part B to this story was that you were...
Anyway, Brian,
Yes.
I got there at 1. You leave with a driver. Demanded a driver also.
A driver?
Out to
you were
Yarrambat.
pre-recording your show
He leaves.
in preference to a...
He leaves at 2
No.
Cashy.
Now, Jim, he gets there at 1. He leaves at 2 o'clock with a driver.
Oh, no. JB,
Shut up, Brian.
Come
this
on.
can't be true, can it, that
That's
you've
not
done that?
true.
You too.
And then Spud leaves at 2:15. We'll get the president of Yarrambat the ring in. Spud leaves at 2:15.
No.
So I feel sorry for him because these blokes are just taking the cash, Sam Kekovich like, and just straight out the door.
I was only required to be there for a short term.
So I had to stay there at 3:30, and let me tell you, they got a few frothies in them, and I couldn't wait to get out of there.
It wasn't the only attention-seeking element of BT's day yesterday, Jim. I picked up I had a look online on the Herald Sun, Duck, and
Oh, well, that'd be right.
there was a big booming face just leaping out of the screen with a big moustache, and you take a closer look, Bill, there was a man, as in Bristle,
Right.
with two scarves on, one being Collingwood and one being Richmond. So
Oh, no.
started reading this article
no, this is,
and trying to get to the point of it, apart from the
Brown.
fact that he played for both clubs before he cracked the sads at both and walked out on both.
Apart from that, that's all. That I just happened to play with both.
The
clubs.
whole article...
Something that I am very proud of, if you don't mind,
was
Just
you
keep
making
that
last night's
in
game
mind.
about you.
So, Damo,
It was all me.
Damo, it didn't make the paper. This was just on the website.
I didn't see it in the paper. It was only on the website.
Oh,
Just
I only made the website.
Little clickbait stuff.
Oh,
So-
you know what? I think Brownie. I thought, Brownie. The last couple of years, Tigers, Bulldogs. Yeah, I thought, Brownie, but not you. I didn't think you'd fall into that.
And Jim, the theme
Come
of the
on.
article,
Come
he was
on, Chris.
clearly
Two scarves, yes.
leaning more toward a Richmond win in the
Oh,
preliminary
hello.
final, which means this morning
Yes.
it's a little bit awkward
No, I
because
know,
he's
I
got to get
wasn't-
back on the Collingwood bandwagon.
No, Damo, I wasn't leaning towards a Richmond win. I was picking Richmond.
what about
Because
when
you're doing a function for him
what about roaming
last night or something, or today.
roaming Brian?
Incorrect
I
again,
think you're in a bit
Bill.
of trouble this week with Collingwood making
No,
it.
roaming Brian last night. It was a fascinating interview with Ed straight after the game in the rooms, and Brian
he
just
pump
sort
him
of
up?
goes up, and Ed just goes, "Oh, how good is it? You're a former great 100-goal kicker. You know what this club's all about." And it was just sort of
Guess you can't beat the facts.
a real, it was a real sort of
So, Damo,
pump up.
I say no.
I've got some other information on this I want to run by you, Bristle.
just the
Were
info-
you crunching the phones this morning because suddenly Collingwood are in? You just needed to line some work up this week or not?
No.
Were you doing it?
No, JB. If you want to have a look at my calls, there they are. Check them off, Damo. There they are.
Stephen Riley.
So you'll notice there's been no calls because JB, there wouldn't
Yes.
need to be.
David Emerson.
I am regarded as automatic
Automatic.
when it comes to getting things right in the Collingwood Grand Final week. It's been done 3 times in recent years, and
Oh, Brian.
I love
Even
it,
though you
Bristle.
walked out
4
on him.
times actually.
I love it, Bristle.